income-based repayments on student loans, that's out the window. I've been seeing a lot of people. And when I say a lot of people, I mean a lot of people are complaining about income-based student loan repayments is going away, and now they got to pay the whole amount. The whole amount. Not half of it, but the whole amount. And this is what's happening.
There's an overwhelming sense of uncertainty looming over Hannah Contreras' future.
This has made a permanent lump in my throat.
Her monthly federal student loan payments skyrocketing.
My student loan payment has gone up $905
every month. While it might sound like something a loan shark would do, doubling or tripling payments without notice, it's actually because of a dramatic change at the Department of Education. Not from staffing cuts, not even DOGE, but a broad interpretation of a court order. Some student loan repayment plans based on income are suddenly halted, affecting 13 million borrowers, according to the National Consumer Law Center. It's all in response to ongoing litigation over what the Biden administration called the Saving on a Valuable Education, or SAVE plan, where monthly payments are based on income and family size.
Now, if you listen to most Democrats, or you listen to most people that are complaining on social media because they got that notification in the mail or whatever, and I'm going to tell you how else they also getting it. They got that credit report. That credit report said, bing, 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 bow. That credit report, yep. It hit y'all credit report. A lot of y'all haven't been paying y'all student loans at all. You thought that it was just going to go away. You thought that you didn't do anything, and they told you that, listen, check your notifications, tap in, check on what it is that you owe, and make sure that you get some understanding. But y'all credit report says that your credit score has dropped 113 points. 157 points. You know why? Because you got a lot of missed payments. You got a lot of late payments, baby. Yep. It's a lot of people's credit reports that's getting hit. And they want to blame Trump. Has nothing to do with Trump whatsoever. But let's continue.
An attractive option for millions of graduates just getting started.
Borrowers who've made the required number of payments in the SAVE plan would normally be eligible to have their remaining balance canceled.
Last year, several conservative-leaning states challenged the plan, saying it would require spending up to $475 billion not authorized by Congress. And a recent temporary order by the Eighth Circuit Court in Missouri broadened the scope of the case to some other income-based plans, too.
Now, if you in the past, whether it was during the Biden administration or before the Biden administration, because one of the reasons why people used to go and work for the federal government, right? A lot of people were getting these diversity, equity, and inclusion degrees, and some people were getting legitimate degrees, right? But a lot of people were getting diversity, equity, and inclusion degrees, which also included underwater basket weaving or African American studies. And then they would go and work for the federal government. And what you can do for the federal government, and this is how women was finessing the system, all right? They would get all of these student loans, and then they would go and work for the federal government. Now, working for the federal government meant that you had a secure salary. You also had a secure job basically for life that you never had to worry about getting laid off from because taxpayers were subsidizing their pay. And you could pay and work there for 10 years. So if you got on an income-based repayment plan while also making sure that you applied for certain programs working for the federal government or for nonprofits and so on and so forth, approved plans and approved organizations, you then had the ability to get your entire student loan forgiven. Now, some people were able to expedite that process during the Biden administration's student loan forgiveness program, but most people weren't. But if you are one of the lucky ones that were able to get your loan forgiven and or get rid of the income-based repayment plan, then you are in the clear. God bless you. You won. Congratulations. Don't ever get another student loan or a loan again in your life. If you were a person that were able to get your student loans forgiven as a result of working for 10 years on an income-based repayment plan, meaning that you didn't have enough to be able to pay it, but you paid the minimum amount and they let you do it for 10 years, congratulations. Some people went and worked for the federal government specifically for this reason. But for the rest of you, welcome to paying back what you borrowed.
In response to the court order, the Department of Education, without any explanation, simply pulled down all of the applications for the income-driven repayment plans.
We reached out to the Department of Education for comment, but have yet to hear back. On the website, it says applications are temporarily unavailable due to the court's injunction. Consumer law experts like Abby Safroth say the DOE is going further than it needs to.
It could keep allowing borrowers to apply for and to stay in the other plans.
Now Contreras, with her monthly
Shout out to
payments
Rod.
soaring
Shout out to
and
everybody
no
that got
increase
lucky.
in salary, is trying to figure out what's next.
I did everything I was supposed to so that I could be in the desk I'm in right now.
Shout out to Robert.
And yet I
appreciate you.
may have been better off doing something different.
She's a mother of two with a master's degree. Today, she's working as a therapist in a community mental health clinic in Oregon.
Somebody told me the other day, and they got so mad at me. They did a reaction video to me, and they said, just because these people don't feel like your degree is valuable doesn't mean it's not valuable. To which I then would respond and say, well, the value of something is what somebody else is willing to pay for it. So you can think that you're valuable. You can let these people say don't body shame you. You can let these people tell you that your degree means something. You can let these people tell you that you are valued amongst us and it doesn't matter what everybody else says. But let me tell you something. That's just the interneting. That's other people that are looking for a community of people to affirm them, to make them feel better about their life decisions. But at the end of the day, them student loans is still due. Now, people that decided to get a degree and get a decent enough job to where they can generate enough revenue to pay off their student loans without no problems, it's an investment. Then y'all want to turn around and say, well, student loans is trash or college is a scam. College ain't a scam. Your decision making was bad. If you borrow money to open up a business and that business fails, is the business industry a scam, or did you pick the wrong business and did not have the right marketing plan, or you marketed yourself as a black-owned business, or you made the mistake of opening up in the wrong location? Were you a bad business owner, or is the business industry a scam? Nobody borrows money, right, and say, oh man, it's a scam, it's a scam. No, you borrowed money, you signed an interest rate, you're supposed to pay it back, your business has failed, we still want our money. The business industry isn't a scam. And it's the same thing with anything. Anything that you invest in, you look to get a return on that investment, and hopefully you make way more money so you can pay the person back that funded whatever it is that you did from an education perspective. College wasn't a scam. Your decision-making was a scam. You decided to go in a dance. You decided to go and take a humanities class. You decided to go and do something that you wasn't supposed to do. You took basket weaving with a specialty in underwater. Nobody told you to do that. So now when all of these women are coming back and saying, we're the most educated, and what? You can't do what I do. All of the federal workers was getting mad saying, you better hope women don't come into your industry in the private industry because we the most educated and we really gonna get down. To do what? You can't even think your way out of a brown paper bag. Ain't nobody worried about you. I fear for the person that want to work against me, that want to compete with me. I don't sleep if I don't want to. I will stay up for 3 days doing something to make you look bad for 15 minutes. That is my dedication. That is my dedication. Ain't nobody worried about you. You don't know how to code. You don't know how to network. You don't know how to code. You don't know how to dress. You don't know how to talk. You can't even arch your back the right way so that you can get that raise and promotion that you're supposed to get. And you sitting here talking to me?
Oregon. She says it's important work, but it doesn't come with a large paycheck.
I can pay the loans. I never said.
Dumas says, I think this is disingenuous. My cousin is a surgeon and still has student loan debt. Oh, it didn't mean that they don't have that. They don't mean that they make fiscally responsible decisions. I coach a lot of doctors and surgeons that they raise their lifestyle to their standard of living and they just pay their student loans over a period of 10 years. It don't mean that they not smart. It don't mean that they not stand down. They'll go out and they'll buy a car and all of that. Listen, come on. I need y'all to really, really think y'all way through this too, man. Baby. And I'm not picking on you. I gotta be real, AJ. I need you to think your way. Just because you're a surgeon don't mean that you're putting your money into the right place that you're supposed to. Now you got a great career and no matter how much you spend, you'll always be able to come back to that career because you can make more money. But it don't mean that you're paying your things the way you're supposed to. A lot of doctors are notoriously bad with money. They make a lot of money, but they're notoriously bad. But they got that safety net because they can always come back to whatever it is that they do for a living and make more money. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, y'all. Come on. We got to think our way through this. We got to think our way through this.
That I couldn't pay them. I just said I need to be able to do it in the ways we were told when we were 18 that we would be able to.
Contreras and many more looking for clarity as their options seem narrower than ever.
Rahima Ellis is joining us now. So, Rahima, what are the options now for borrowers like Contreras?
Well, they're not great for many people, but we should say those who are under the Biden era income plan, they already have an option, and that is that their payments have been paused since last year with no interest accruing, and that's a result of the lawsuit that we talked about earlier.
AJ says, I agree with you, but you are saying it like this is a basket weaving degree issue. It is a basket weaving degree issue because just because your friends got student loans doesn't mean that they don't pay them. Now, the people that are complaining, the people that are whining, the people that are complaining about this, they're saying that we can't afford to pay what I am supposed to pay on a regular basis, which is one of the reasons why we got on an income-based repayment plan, meaning they are paying a reduced amount based off of how much they can pay, not how much they're supposed to pay. What they're not telling you is that the loans actually continue to balloon because the interest is still being charged. So they're only paying a percentage of the interest. They're not paying down the principal. So a lot of these people that are on these income-based repayment plans, right? A lot of these people that are on these income-based repayment plans, they plan on being on a payment plan for the rest of their lives. They're not looking to get rid of the loan. They're just looking to be able to pay whatever it is that they can pay and justify it by saying that, well, at least my credit is not hit. At least I'm not in default. At least I'm not this. At least I'm not that. But they're not actually solving for the problem. They just putting a Band-Aid over the solution. It's like a person that has a chronic illness that can be solved, but instead of them finding the solution, because a basket weaving degree, the bad degree does not empower them to make more money. The surgeon can make more money and they can pay off their loans or they can meet their expectations if they wanted to. They choose not to. A person with a basket weaving degree doesn't have the ability because they finance a very bad curriculum that will not allow for them to be able to meet the expectation, and then they're going to blame it on the system. They're going to blame it on Biden. They're going to blame it on Trump. It's not even the Democrats' fault. It's your fault for going to get a bad degree that does not add value into your life, and you are going to be under duress for the rest of your life because your decision-making, not anybody else's. Income-based repayment plans without a plan to come from under that loan eventually anyway is a bad plan. You are on what I call the no plan. Nina said these loans are sometimes predatory. Then why y'all keep asking for them in the black community talking about we're underlended, we're underrepresented? Come on, man. Y'all got to pick something. You can't have it both ways. Regardless of whether it's predatory or not, you don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to do, nobody is putting a gun to your head and say, hey man, take this student loan for this liberal arts degree. So that means you picked the bad degree and you picked the bad loan at the same time. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept it. Some of y'all lifetime students just so you can defer your loans. Come on, man. Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. And it's time to pay back your loans. It's time to pay back your loans. Oh, man, no matter how young I was looking at that junk and I was like, I went to one semester directly out of high school. I was like, man, it's time to get a job. You ain't about to have me all jacked up out here, jammed up. I took a $962.72 loan. I did work study. I worked in a library as my work study job. I worked regularly, you know what I'm saying, on top of that, and I was going to school or whatever. And so I took my monies and then I paid my tuition, and then I had to take out a $962.72 loan. And I was mad about it. I was like, because the next semester was coming up and they was trying to get me to do it. I paid that off, and I said, nope, time to go and get a regular job. My brother called me, or no, I was riding in the car with my brother. He showed me his paycheck. I said, he was getting paid once a week, and I think his paycheck was like $3,000 or $4,000. Wait a minute, y'all clocking this type of money in the plant? He's like, yeah, dog, we had overtime. It was a holiday, so we got triple time, this and that, and so on and so forth. That's all I needed to see. My oldest brother showed me his paycheck. I was like, I was like, put in a word for me. He was like, all right. I had to shave my beard. See, I wasn't one of them type of people that had pride. You know how y'all want to cut y'all hair or do nothing like that. I had to shave my beard in order to take a respirator test, because you got to do a respirator. Take a respirator test. I cut that beard. I was looking like a newscaster. Beard gonna grow back. This money gonna be forever though. Went straight to the dealership right after I got my 90 days in. I was a part of the union. Went straight to the dealership. Straight to the dealership. Bought 2 cars within a week, back to back. I remember, listen, we had to do 2 weeks of training. My first day out on the job, I caught on to the job really quickly. I was working overtime that night. Honest to God, on everything. I did overtime that same night. My first 2 weeks out of training, I did overtime that night. It's like, oh, no. Bag chasing is up. I'm going to create a future group called the Bag Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I had no stash, no beard, no nothing, big dog. Wasn't about to get me. Wind up going back to school. Went to community college. Wind up becoming a software engineer because I went to community college for 2 years. And then I transferred over into a major university in which I then got a job. And that's one of the reasons why I started working at the University of Michigan. I got recruited before I even graduated to work at the University of Michigan. They paid for my extra tuition at the major university, and then I was booming. Taking off from there, baby.